Sai Ram, everybody. Today, on the 8th of April 2024, today is the day of eclipse. In particular, solar eclipse, right? What is an eclipse? Eclipse in transliteration in Hindi or Sanskrit is Grahana. Grahana means eclipse. So eclipse is between Earth and Sun. When some other planet comes or upagraha like Chandra, Moon is a upagraha. When that comes, there is the connect between Sun and Mother Earth and all of us is blocked. That has been called as an eclipse. There are not necessarily only lunar eclipse or solar eclipse. Rahu, Graha, when it comes, even there is an eclipse. So now, to simply put, anything which comes between, to make it very simple, between Earth and Sun is an eclipse, which transliteration is in Hindi or Sanskrit or Devanagari is Grahana. Grahan. So this is the truth, this is the scientific explanation, or this is the fact. Now, we as Avadhutas always dig into two aspects. One, what it is it, what is the scientific significance of it? Plus, what is the spiritual significance of it? Well, science has a very blunt and a straightforward approach to this. The approach is, they say it is very scientific, it is an occurrence in the universe. There is nothing auspicious or inauspicious about it. So it is just an occurrence in the planetary positions, that's about it. That is the science view on Grahana or the eclipse. But particularly, Sanatana Dharma or the Hindu religion considers it as some of the grahans as auspicious, some of the grahans as inauspicious. Today's grahana is not inauspicious. It is supposed to be auspicious. Some of the grahanas where a Rahu comes in between is considered as inauspicious. So some grahanas are auspicious, some are inauspicious, some are neutral. This time on today, the Grahana is happening and it is visible in the United States of America, Mexico, and basically North America, Canada, Mexico, and these countries. Those countries do not believe it as any auspicious or inauspicious. We in India are not going to be, we are not, India and, the eastern, southern and eastern countries, we won't see the Grahana. We won't see the eclipse. It is visible only in the American continent. Now, let us understand, we know what is the scientific approach to that. They say they rubbish everything which is religious. So that is taken, well taken, fine. How the Grahana happens, we know scientifically. It is just an occurrence in planetary positions. Planets revolve on their own axis as well as around Sun. It is bound to come in between one another. Even the upagrahas, which revolves, like, Moon revolves around Earth, and that comes in between Sun and Earth. So that is also an eclipse. Chandra Grahana, Surya Grahana. And then there is, basically lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. Today's eclipse is solar eclipse. Now, predominantly in our culture, in Sanatana Dharma's culture, Grahana is more often considered to be inauspicious. Why? Is it true? Is it really inauspicious? Is it really auspicious? How? When? Is there any logic behind it? Is there any sense in it? We also have a scientific bent of mind. Are we going to just accept it? Are we just going to dismiss it? Either ways, we have to understand what it is before either we accept or reject. मानना नहीं है. मानने से हम जैसे भी है कोई भी बोल दिया तो हम मान लेते हैं. मानना नहीं है, कोई भी चीज मानना नहीं है, जानना है. We have to know. We have to process and understand. We don't accept it. Acceptance is मानना. हमें मानना नहीं है, हमें जानना है. We understanding, processing and understanding is जानना. जो कहा गया, whoever has told us something, just accepting it is मानना. हम मानते नहीं है, हम जानना चाहते हैं. तो ये हमारा संप्रदाय है. कुलावधूत संप्रदाय में हम जानना चाहते हैं, मानना नहीं, कोई भी चीज. So we don't just accept it, we try to understand. In order to understand the significance and whether it is auspicious or inauspicious, some of the grahanas being auspicious, some are inauspicious. How does it work? What is the basis on the Shastras? Even Vedic astrology also calls it as auspicious as well as inauspicious. How does it work? But does it really work? So this is a question. Now, if that is the question, now we have to take a step back. First question we need to ask ourselves: is there any influence of planets and planetary positions in our life, on our life, on our realities, on our relationships, on anything and everything? So first we need to understand, we have to step back and understand, is there any influence of these planets on us? So first we will go there. Then we will understand what is eclipse. How does it work? Favorably or unfavorably? So this is the question. Now, influence of planets, influence of a star called sun is a certain so long as every living creature is concerned. There is absolutely no doubt. Are we endorsing astrology and horoscope study and things like that? Yes and no. Because horoscopes are very indicative. They can generally tell us that this season or this phase of these planetary positions are going to be favorable to us or adverse to us, our realities. This is what the astrology tells us. And it is more so indicative. It is not accurate. But the indicative predictions of astrology is right. Why is it not accurate? Why is it indicative? Because the universal and divine system is very clear. We have three things in our life: one third, one third, one third, which I have said it in many occasions. The first one third is your realities which you cannot alter, like your birth, your appearance, your parents, your siblings, your relatives. All those things are some time of your birth. place of your birth. These are not alterable at all. It's happened. This is a reality. You can't change it. So that is 1/3 of our lives. Now, when it comes to second 1/3 is when the planetary positions and planets have an influence on our lives. What is it? The second 1/3 is when we refer it to as a destiny. Destiny is from our Sanchita karma. When we transmigrate, when we migrate from one body to another body, based on our Sanchita karma, Rana Rananabandha, we draw our own destiny. These are my realities. These are my experiences. This is how my life is going to be. I will enjoy or suffer based on my Sanchita karma. This is my siblings, this is my sufferings, or whatever. So this is the second 1/3 of our lives. The last 1/3 is free will. Your free will based on which you can decide to make your life better, evolve, understand the truth, understand who we are, understand the whole truth of creation or evolution or a theory of occurrence from Shunya to now, what all has transpired. How do we do that? How do we go forward? These are all the things which you can. And based on your free will, how are you going to make sure that you evolve as a person, a better person? How are we going to, bring down our karma phala? How do we reduce our burdens of karma phala? These are all in the hands of free will. That's exactly why the astrological predictions are always indicative, not accurate. Because in the universe, there is always a space for free will to act on the astrological predictions also. What you think is what you become. Your thoughts into reality. There is always a creative consciousness. When you have to do that, apply your free will to evolve and dissolve. Evolve for into a better person, you need the hands of a guru. Why do we say that guru is greater than God in our sampradaya? Is because guru is the only one. God, for example, it's not a accurate thing we believe in theory of occurrence, even God occurred. But however, let us for a moment touch base with the theory of creation. God created everything. God created everything and he kept quiet. He created the whole system and kept quiet. He created the law of karma and kept quiet. There is nothing which he can do. He has written the constitution of the universe. He cannot do anything. He's done. Whatever God had to do, he has done. So now we can please God with our prayers, meditations, and so on and so forth. But however, whatever you want to do, there is a way to do, how to do. So you need the hands of your guru. That same guru is the one who is going to alter your realities from adverse to pleasant. Now, this is where the free will comes to picture. When there is a free will, you can apply the free will. You can reach out to a right path, righteous path. You can reach out to a perfected master and a perfected path. You can always leave. You have your free will. You can make a choice. You can leave and go. Whatever you want to do, you do. No problem. So this free will, when we submit it to our guru, that is when we are safe. He knows to navigate. He knows to alter our realities. Just not altering the realities, he also knows how to nullify the consequences of the altered realities. So that is the significance of guru. Again, we'll go back to the topic. Does the planetary positions affect us both favorably or pleasantly as well as adversely, unfavorably? Yes, they do. Astrologically, it is indicative. We have understood. Significance of Guru, we have understood. How to deal with these adverse realities with our free will, we have understood. Now coming back to the planetary positions. Now, when the planetary positions are not favorable, in our sampradaya, we are very clear the process of how our realities are. Sanchita karma is the basis of our destiny. One is unalterable realities. Second is alterable, yet they are realities. Third is the free will. These are three aspects. Now, based on our Sanchita karma and the destiny, that gets mapped into Navagrahas, the planets, because at a particular stage and phase of the planetary positions, it influences our thoughts. It influences our emotions. What is life? Life is all about action and reaction. Now there is a reality which is very adverse. We can choose to suffer. We can choose to sulk, or we can choose to fight. We can choose to submit to our guru. We can choose to go in a bhakti marga. We can go to the divine. We can go to the temple. At the same time, you can feel helpless. You can just go with the flow or get agitated or get angry with God or guru. We can even abuse the guru or God. You have multiple actions that you can exercise, but the planetary positions are the ones who are going to influence your actions and reactions, your emotions. That is where the problem is. All through our life, please understand, it is all about actions and reactions, karma, karma phala. That's all. Rana, Rananabandha is correlated with karma, karma phala. What you think is what you are. Your thoughts become realities. What influences your thoughts is the planetary positions. For example, I have given this example several times. If there is no sunlight for, let's say, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, it's absolutely gloomy. We all know we get into a depression. We feel bored. We feel very low. So the lack of sunlight can influence. Harsh sunlight, like what we are going through right now, is also, there is an influence on our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts. You get physically exhausted. It's a very simple example. Likewise, why do we assume that the planetary positions or planets, different planets, the rays which emanate from those planets do not affect us adversely or favorably? It is a possibility. It is certainly a certainty. It certainly does. So it basically influences our thoughts, our realities, how we act. For example, if somebody is annoyed with us, somebody is attacking us, somebody is insulting us, somebody is humiliating, defaming us, what do? You have a choice. You can either retaliate or you can just leave it to the time. You can always forgive, or you can always wait for a while and then retaliate at the right time. So there are multiple options of your reactions. How do you react? So this is where the free will comes. This is where the influence on thoughts are. If you are an agitated person, you will retaliate. If you have done your spiritual progression, you have started understanding and you have started moving on the spiritual aspect, spirituality, you tend to forgive and move on. So there are a lot of actions and reactions, and those actions and reactions are influenced by the planets, their rays. So are we helpless? No, we are not helpless. We can help it. The last one third, which is our free will. You can contemplate, take a pause, don't react, think, leave it to your guru, forgive. So many things, they are in your free will. You can do that. You can terminate the Ridana bandhas with such people. You can move on. You can do anything. So what you choose, how you want to react is your choice, free will. So the divine system is very clear that your free will is certainly at play. Some people say if everything is written in the destiny, then what is it that we are doing? Just go with the flow. Not really. You have this. This is a perfect understanding of Avadhuta Sampraday or Avadhuta Sampraday that we put it into these three slots. It makes sense and logic. Now coming to eclipse. When there is an influence of these stars or planets on us, when that gets eclipsed, excuse me, when that gets eclipsed, the best thing to do is stay calm. The best thing to do is not do anything. The best thing to do is just stay still. Best thing to do is contemplate. Best thing to do is meditate. Contemplate like what we are doing right now. So contemplation based on logic, based on understanding. Now, when there is an eclipse, when there are, for a particular moment, consistently we have this multiple planetary positions, they are emanating rays, and due to the change in planetary positions, there is an eclipse. So that gets blocked. When that gets blocked, suddenly, all of a sudden, in about a matter of couple of minutes, there is a complete eclipse. Every energy levels are terminated. Every rays from every planet which is eclipsed is terminated. So what happens to us? Our realities, our mind, our thoughts, our emotions, they get disturbed. They get very influenced. You are suspended. Your continuous living, your continuous thoughts, your continuous emotions is broken. Is it good? No. Is it bad? No. So what do? You just live suspended. You suspend all your thoughts. You suspend all your emotions. You suspend all your deeds, all your doings during that time. When there is a sudden stopping of rays, waves from different planets on us, what do? Suddenly it gets terminated, which is contiguous. So, and even if it moves away in a very systematic, in a slow way. Suddenly there is a stop. So that is the time we have to live in a state of contemplation. We have to stay still. We have to stay in a meditative state. In other words, you have to engage in spiritual work. So to say, spiritual, quote unquote. That is why the religious practices advise us to stay still or get into any religious practices. Get into some puja part, go to a temple, take a bath, relax. Cooked food you can't eat. Food grain is fine. Cooked food you discard. There is a logic behind that also. We are talking about ancient days, Vedic days. Food used to be cooked in earthen pots. that it used to definitely, if it is kept out, used to absorb the rays, sun rays, or anything, planetary rays. So hence it was told, don't eat the cooked foods, discard it, you freshly cook. So that took a religious pattern. That became a Purana. That became something which is a story. That turned into a blind faith. Logic was forgotten. Logic and reasoning was forgotten. So we started believing everything. We started accepting everything. हम मानने लगे. हमको जिस किसी ने बताया, हम मानने लगे. हम जानना छोड़ दिए. We started accepting anything which is told by, let's say, elders or priests or pandits. We started accepting. Have we once applied our logic and thoughts and tried to ask ourselves, what is it? Like what we are doing right now, the Chintan Manthan Manan. Chintan Manthan. Discussion, deliberation, Manan, internalization, if it is logically acceptable. Have we once done in our life? We haven't. So that is the problem. Now coming back to the eclipse, it does affect. And what happens post-eclipse? Even sun rays, the photon, if it has to reach from a sun to Mother Earth, it takes 8 minutes and 35 seconds. सुबह की पहली किरण सूरज से पृथ्वी तक आने में 8 मिनट और 35 सेकंड लेती है. The first sun ray which touches, it is consistent, of course, Earth is revolving on its own axis, but when that portion of the Earth which faces sun to receive the photon, it takes 8 minutes and 35 seconds. Few seconds here and there, I'm not saying it is precision. So imagine when there is an eclipse. When there is an eclipse, it has to re-begin the whole process. Eclipse that lasts for an hour. Partially, it starts covering partially, and then it goes on and on and on and complete, and then it starts leaving. During that process, what all can happen? You have seen in the nature, birds run. Birds are, going very, restless. They don't know what is happening. Imagine the connect of birds. Birds are the closest to the, atmosphere because they fly. Why? Because of eclipse. Suddenly, some scientists say that suddenly, because they say that it's becoming dark at a time which it doesn't become dark. Accept it. So it is affecting. Likewise, in nature, it affects every living being. So that passage of time during the eclipse, however long it takes, the whole process of contiguous sun rays that comes or whatever from the planets it comes is broken. When that is broken and when it has to start, because the nature, your prakriti, the process is very contiguous. It never stops. It never gets suspended. Only during the time of eclipse, Grahana, it gets suspended. That is why it is called. Sometimes that suspended time is favorable, which is good. Whenever there is a Maraka is a destroyer. Whenever it is Karala means something which is bad and inauspicious. When it is Karala and Maraka or blocked, it is auspicious. Good time begins. When it becomes Karala and Maraka, it becomes inauspicious. So this is the logic. But when it starts again, what happens? Why are we asked to take a shower? Why are we asked to take an abhyanjana? In Sanskrit, it used to be called as in Vedic days called abhyanjana. Abhyanjana is not just a bath from head to toe. No. Apply a little bit of oil, leave it for half an hour, then wash yourself. So that is called abhyanjana. We'll get into abhyanjana as a separate topic. However, so you are asked to take a shower whenever taking a bath is very essential for us. Every day, if you can have twice, nothing like it, at least once is a must. Because when we take a bath, our energy levels, our negative energies gets culled. It gets receded. You always feel refreshed. You always feel to restart your life. Likewise, when there is a suspended state of your, entire planetary positions or sun or moon or whatever, when it restarts, it's always better to deplete your negative energies by taking a shower. That is why it is advocated that after the Grahana, you have to take a shower. When you take a shower, you're refreshed, you're fine. Cook fresh food. Have a freshly cooked food, not the ones which are stored or which is cooked earlier. And this was applicable during the days of, when there were no refrigerators. There is no preserving techniques those days. Today, it is not applicable. It's obsolete. You have refrigerated the food that you have cooked. You kept it inside in the containers. Nothing happens. It was true then, but we blindly follow even now. We have forgotten logic. धर्म में से बुद्धि चली गई है. पुराणों में तो बुद्धि है ही नहीं. There is no logic in Puranas. And our dharma is not the real dharma, but from our religious practices, the logic has vanished. Buddhi chali gayi. So that is why we get into this multiple issues. It is inauspicious or it is auspicious or whatever. Now tell me, when the Grahana is happening in the United States of America and Northern and Southern America, like Mexico to the US till Canada, how does it matter to us? Nothing. It just doesn't matter. Because in any case, it is sunset. Any case, we are receding. Any case, after 6:37, 7:38 o'clock, our body is going to release melatonin. We are going to sleep. Nothing changes for us. But at the same time, where it is going to affect, where the Grahana is happening, where the eclipse is happening, yes, of course, it affects. It affects the psyche. So that is the logical understanding about eclipse. There is no mumbo jumbo. It is pure science. But unfortunately, scientists or scientific bent of mind are particularly atheists. Not all atheists are scientific. They are rejectionists. They reject everything for the sake of rejecting without understanding. They just reject because they take a pride in being atheists. And they have no knowledge about anything, neither their nature, nothing. They just have to reject. They have to display their ego. But yes, one thing is for sure, at a lighter note, God loves, if there is God. God loves atheists because they don't ask him anything, because they don't even agree to the existence of God. So God loves atheists. Never mind. So the atheists are a rejectionist. Scientific approach is very rigid. This is it. Unless and until it is not proven in the laboratories or in any manner. Now, for example, science also talks only about, particularly physics and chemistry, they talk only about theoretic physics. It is all theoretic science, theory of gravitation, theory of evolution, theory of so many things. It's only a theory. We are also talking about a theory with more certainty, more logic, more theory of possibilities. Spirituality and Avadhuta Sampraday is theory of possibilities. These are possible. These are acceptable. These are logical. So then only we accept. Yes, possible. Yes, logical. Yes, acceptable. Then we internalize. This is the total explanation of the eclipse, Grahana. So not to worry, but yes, if it is declared as a Grahana which is adverse, say stay suspended, stay calm, stay contemplative, stay in a meditative state if you can, or read something, engage yourself, don't venture out, don't expose yourself to the nature, be in the confines of home. It's not necessary that you wear a sunglasses and go and see the Grahana. No. Why? Why are we trying to do that? Why are we trying to defy the logic? Why are we trying to do all those things? It doesn't make sense. Just because you are scientific, you have a scientific bent of mind, doesn't mean that you have to be foolish. We don't have to be. If there's a logic in staying in a silence, contemplative mind, and contemplative thoughts, and possibly meditative state or whatever, why not do that? If it affects our emotions, mind, and actions and reactions, why not we just stay put? Why can't we just watch it on the TV? You get a better, vision, better coverage on the TV instead of exposing yourself, right? So this is the logical understanding of eclipse, Grahana. It is neither, it is not something which you should fear. It is something which you have to be careful and abstain from, whether it is favorable or adverse. You have to just abstain. Live in a very suspended state during the period of Grahana. That's it. So this is the understanding of eclipse in the eyes of Avadhutas. How we contemplate, how we accept, how we reason it out, how we try to bring in rational and logic, how we are scientific yet spiritual. We are spiritual and scientific. We are not here to accept anything and everything as a mumbo jumbo. No. This is our reason. This is the part of theory of possibilities. So this is all about eclipse, the Grahana. Right? Thank you very much. Thanks for the patient hearing. Saira.